YouTube? It's your girl Denise, and I am reviewing the highly anticipated Baddies East season premiere. And this time around, Zeus has definitely stepped up their production game. For those of you who don't know me, I have a post-production background, so it makes me excited to see that we have motion graphics, VFX, better editing, better sound design, and we still got a really long recap of last season. I get why they did that. It's for the new audiences that haven't watched the Baddies franchise yet, but I just feel like it went on for too long. Like, you could have just cut it like maybe like a minute or so. But regardless, we opened the episode up with a future fight between Sukiana and Broly, and there are no captions available yet, but if I heard correctly, Sukiana is saying that Broly has an STD, then Broly is saying that Sukiana has a contract where the girls can't hit her, but we see Broly start swinging anyways, and this is all happening on the Jamaica trip, which obviously is going to be the exposition of the series, so we're going to have to wait and see until that episode comes around. But for now, we're traveling 2 months earlier into Natalie's office, and she brought back some of the OGs. We have Roly, Krishan, Stunna Girl, and Scotty, and they're going through the girls one by one and giving their comments about what they think of them. So I will do the same. But before I get into the new girls, I want to talk about the OGs a little bit. So Krishan brings up the past between her and Natalie, how she's tired of Natalie disrespecting her, and that she doesn't want to get into it with Natalie this season. And Natalie, you know, like I don't want to say like snake, but like just like the conniving person that she is, she swears that there's no beef between anybody at that table, that the whole group has gotten really close. And I noticed that when she's saying that, she's mostly looking at Roly. So I do believe that her and Roly are somewhat close. But she did make that friendship pact between Roly and Natalie and her last season. So clearly Krishan and Stunna are not a part of this. So I don't really believe that Natalie likes Krishan. I feel like she just tolerates her because she has to, because she's bringing viewers to her show. On the other hand, I still believe Natalie when she says that Krishan was instigating at the auditions between Natalie and Krishan's sister, Tasiki. I do believe that Krishan told Natalie not to give Tasiki a ticket. And I feel like Krishan is talking out of both sides of her mouth. Like, if she's around Natalie, she's going to start talking bad about Tasiki. But if she's around Tasiki, she's going to start talking bad about Natalie. And then even when Roly is making that comment about always defending her sisters, even though her and her sisters get into it, Krishan is like really dismissive about the idea of defending her sister even if they get into it. So I think that Krishan needs to make up her mind in terms of whether she rocks with her sister or not. And then Natalie, first of all, needs to stay out of their business. And I can't believe Natalie would be so gullible to even like fall for what Krishan says about Tasiki and get to know Tasiki on her own time. So now I'm going to give you my opinion on the new girls, and I don't know most of them, so I'm just coming from like a clean and fresh perspective. And I know some of you are just like, D, how have you not seen these girls before? And let me tell you something. Black Ink Crew, Love and Hip Hop, and even Bad Girls Club, those shows have been on the air ever since I was a little girl. And as a little kid, I'm just not watching that. And then even as a grown adult, like, I'm not watching old TV shows. I feel like it's before my time, and that's where it's gonna stay. So first up, we have Sky from Black Ink Crew. And immediately, I like her style. I like her attitude. I feel like she's about her business and she's not afraid to get down in a fight. And she's very beautiful. So she gets a yes from me. Next, we have Wo Vicky. Now, I know about her, but I don't really watch her videos. And now she's coming on Baddies talking about Jesus and stuff. And I don't know if she really should be here. Like, I'm just wondering, did you not make your bag already? Do you really need to be on Baddies right now? I just don't understand why she's here, and I don't feel like she belongs here. So I'm gonna give her a pass. Next, we have T, and I actually know her from Wild 'N Out, but she wasn't really that funny on Wild 'N Out. Like, I just remember her always getting a buzzer. So I don't really know about that comedian part of her, but maybe Baddies is a better fit for her. She definitely is eye candy. But I feel like as soon as I can get past her voice, then I will like her a lot better. Her voice sounds like it's in the same key as a rubber chicken. Next, we have Camila, which is Natalie's arch nemesis from Bad Girls Club. Now, I don't know the background between her and Natalie, but here in the intro, she seems really sweet. But I wonder if she's one of those girls that can just turn sweet on and off. Ultimately, I just want to see her fight Natalie. Next, we have Sia, which is the first stud on Baddies. And she looks really good. I'm excited to learn more about her. And she says she's been doing music for 30 years, so I definitely want to see her perform. Next, we have Mariah Lynn from Love and Hip Hop. She definitely has personality, I'll give you that. I'm not familiar with her, but I'm willing to give her a chance. Next, we have Smiley, who has beef with Mariah Lynn. And I can't believe she punched Mariah Lynn's sister at the auditions without knowing that that's Mariah Lynn's sister. Like, what are the odds? And she seems like she hit her sister pretty hard. But you know, Mariah Lynn is a really small girl. I just don't know how she's going to match up with Smiley, but I want to see it. Next, we have Anna Mac, and her face kind of bothers me. Like, it's just too long and skinny. But just looks aside, she can sing really good. She has a really nice voice, so I'm excited to hear more of her music. But I don't know how she's going to fare on the show. It seems like she's been bullying girls online, but we'll get more into that later. So for now, it's to be determined. Next, we have Tasiki, and I don't really have an opinion on her, but what I really don't want to see on the show is her and Krishan constantly bickering and getting into it. I'm over the sister storyline before it even began. And I would just rather get to know Tasiki as Tasiki and not somebody's sister. So until Tasiki shows me who she really is, aside from her sister, I'm gonna give her a to be determined. And now I'm just wondering, like, since we casting sisters, y'all might as well just cast Mariah Lynn's sister too. Like, how is Mariah Lynn supposed to beat Smiley all by herself? So then Tasiki and Natalie get into it at the hotel lobby. And I don't really know who to believe in terms of who started it. And Zeus wasn't recording, so I just don't care for this fight. But what I can't believe is that the whole family of the sisters shows up to gang up on Natalie. And this family is such a clout chasing family if I've ever seen one. Because do you know how hard it is to get your family to show up at gatherings and to show up on time? But somehow this family showed up all together to gang up on Natalie. And Zeus, do not fall for it. Like, do not even show this family. They blurred out the faces of the family members, but I would have just cut them out completely and not give them the attention that they're seeking. And Natalie is just throwing one of her Natalie tantrums as usual. She don't know how to just get in her car and just leave, because she's obviously not going to fight anyone. She would get ganged up on. And security can't defend you from this entire family. But Natalie is just yelling all the way to her car, and her vocal cords are fried. Natalie, please stop screaming. I'm tired of hearing your voice. I hate when she gets like this, y'all. Moving on to the next day, when I analyze these videos, I like to use what the girls are wearing to know if it's a new day or not. But here we go. Krishan has the same clothes on as last night. I'm not going to get on her for that. Whatever. But Stunner Girl comes over, and I guess this is the last scene that we're going to see her, because if you guys haven't heard, she left Baddies because she feels like she wasn't getting paid the amount of money that she asked for. But Stunner Girl is trying to get to the bottom of the situation between the sisters and Natalie. And Tasiki is basically saying that Krishan shouldn't worry because Tasiki would never swing on family, which is a lie, because in that flashback that they showed from Crazy in Love, you see Tasiki clearly swinging on Krishan. And that is what Krishan is fearful for. You can see it in her face. And she doesn't really know how she feels about Tasiki being on the show. But Krishan also says that Natalie isn't being genuine in trying to stick up for Krishan against her sister. But my question is, like, what do you want Natalie to do? Because Natalie wasn't going to put your sister on the show. And then you were the one who gave her the ticket to be on the show. So I'm not really understanding Krishan's point. And I don't think Stunner Girl understands Krishan's point either, because she doesn't really say anything. And this is the last time we're going to see Stunner Girl. So thank you, Stunner. I wish you luck on your future endeavors. And hasta luego. Ciao. And now fast forward to brunch. We get the big brawl between Scotty and Anna Mac. It was on site as soon as Anna Mac started walking up them steps. So Scotty's upset because Anna Mac was in Krishan's comment section and she was calling Krishan slow, which is something that the cast members from Baddies South and Baddies West have kind of been saying about Krishan. So that's nothing new. But Anna Mac also told Scotty to SMD. And I don't really feel like these girls are really fighting because of what Anna said in Krishan's comments. I feel like there's history between these two that we're not getting yet, and that they've been talking about each other online, because you can't tell me that Scotty is all of a sudden defending Krishan and their BFFs. So Scotty clearly has the height advantage over Anna Mac, and Anna Mac decides that she has to elevate herself by getting up on the table, getting up on the couch. And Scotty's not stupid. She knows that you want the height advantage when you are in a fight. So she also gets up on the couch. And then Whoa Vicky starts recording as if she wasn't just scared when Scotty threw the shoe past her. Like the shoe didn't even hit her, but Whoa Vicky still jumped up and got scared. And then Natalie's weak attempt of trying to get these girls to stop. She's just like, Scotty, stop. Scotty, stop. So Scotty just ends up shoving Natalie, like payback for what Natalie did to Scotty when after Krishan slapped Natalie in the face. And Natalie started to attack Scotty. So Anna Mac is on top of this couch and Scotty just starts kicking at her, which is dumb because if I were Anna and I knew that you were going to start kicking, it's so easy to grab somebody's foot as they're trying to kick you and like throw them back. But Anna handles Scotty anyway by jumping on her and tackling her to the floor, which is just like, how are you getting beat up by somebody half your size, Scotty? It makes no sense. And then the more I start thinking about it, I'm just like, Scotty doesn't really have that athletic build that she keeps talking about. Like for somebody who's allegedly a personal trainers are like really big and muscular. She's just fit. And some of the other girls on the cast are just as fit as her. So I don't know, maybe she needs to start training in boxing or something. She'd just be in the gym doing cardio. So the episode ends and we get the previews for next week. Scotty puts on this red hat to cover her tracks. And Smiley and Mariah get into it on site. And clearly Smiley came prepared because she ain't no hair to snatch, okay? She ends up pulling Mariah Lynn's wig off. But from the previews, it just looks like they're just like slapping each other. Nobody has their fists balled up. And then we get Natalie running up on Camilla, which was just so wrong at this moment because you can tell Camilla she was getting up, she was getting ready to give Natalie a hug because it's been so long since they've seen each other. But Natalie said, nope, there's some water. So that concludes my recap and analysis of episode 1. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already, and let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'll see you next week for episode 2. Bye!